Hello and welcome. We're going to talk about something that, let's be honest, fills millions of us with dread. What actually happens if you miss the UK tax return deadline? We've put this discussion together with the experts at Pro Tax Accountant, who are one of the UK's top accounting firms. They see this happen all the time, and they want to help you figure it out.
You know the feeling I'm talking about, right? It's the morning of February 1st. You're making a cup of tea, and then it hits you. That big, unmissable January 31st deadline for your online tax return? Yeah, that was yesterday. If you've ever felt that sudden jolt of panic, believe me, you are not the only one.
The second that deadline passes, this happens. A £100 penalty is automatically slapped on by HMRC. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter if you don't owe any tax, or even if HMRC owes you a refund. This penalty is purely for being late. Think of it as the starting gun in a race you really don't want to lose. So, what do you do? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to break it all down. We'll look at just how many people find themselves in this exact spot. Then we'll get into the scary part, how those penalties can spiral. But don't worry, we'll also cover potential lifelines, and most importantly, we'll give you a clear plan to recover and make sure this never ever happens again. All right, first things first, let's just get a grip on how big this issue really is. It can feel like you're the only one who's messed up, but, well, the numbers tell a very different story.
Just take a look at these figures from HMRC for the last tax year. Now, 11.5 million people did get their returns in on time, which is amazing. But a whopping 1.1 million people didn't. That's over a million of us who kicked off February with an instant £100 penalty. So if that's you, you're in a very large club.
Okay, so let's dive into this, because that initial £100 penalty, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real danger is how quickly things can get very, very expensive if you don't do something about it. The clock is officially ticking.
This timeline really shows you how the pressure mounts. After 3 months, HMRC starts adding a tenner a day penalty, which can rack up to another £900. Ouch. Then at the 6-month mark, bam, another penalty, either £300 or 5% of the tax you owe, whichever one is higher. And if you're a year late, they do it again. So before you know it, you're looking at a minimum of £1,300 in penalties, and that's just for filing late.
And this is so important. Stay with me here. This is the double trouble trap that catches absolutely everyone out. All those penalties we just looked at, they're for not filing your return. There is a whole other world of pain with a separate set of penalties for not paying your tax on time. So many people think, well, I can't afford to pay right now, so there's no point filing. That is a huge mistake. HMRC sees them as two separate jobs you have to do.
Let's make this real. So this is Sarah, a freelance designer. Her tax bill was £3,000. After a year of not filing and not paying, her late filing penalties hit that £1,300 mark. But on top of that, late payment penalties added another £450. And then there's the interest, which just ticks up every single day. That added about $232. So her original $3,000 bill suddenly grew by almost £2,000. A truly painful lesson in just how fast these costs add up.
Okay, it's not all doom and gloom. If you had a genuine crisis that stopped you from filing, HMRC isn't a total monster. There is a possible way out, and it's called having a reasonable excuse. So what does that actually mean? Well, a reasonable excuse has to be something unexpected and properly out of your control. We're talking about a serious illness that puts you in the hospital, or the death of a partner or parent. What doesn't count? I forgot, I was too busy, or I couldn't afford it. Sadly, those just won't fly. The key thing is you have to file your return as soon as the problem is over, and then you have to appeal that penalty within 30 days.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head for so many small business owners. Cash flow is a nightmare. You could be waiting for thousands of pounds in unpaid invoices, but that doesn't matter to HMRC. Their deadlines are fixed. You absolutely have to file the return, even if you can't pay the bill right away. All right, so you've missed the deadline, the damage is done, now what? Freaking out won't help, but having a clear plan of attack absolutely will. Let's look at how you can start to climb out of this hole. Here is your 4-step action plan. Number 1, and this is non-negotiable. File your tax return. Do it now, today. Every single day you wait, those penalties are building up. Second, face the music. Log into your HMRC account and see exactly what you owe in tax, penalties, and interest. Third, have a serious think. Do you have a genuine, reasonable excuse? If you do, start gathering your proof, a doctor's note, anything.
And finally, if you have a valid case, get that appeal submitted online within that 30-day window. Now for a massive pro tip. This can be an absolute lifesaver if you're looking at the bill and thinking there is no way I can pay this all at once. It's called a time-to-pay arrangement. Basically, it's a formal deal with HMRC to pay what you owe in installments. It's a huge deal. Last year, over 650,000 people used one of these to manage their debt and, critically, stop those late payment penalties in their tracks.
So, is it right for you? Well, here are the main rules. You need to owe less than £30,000, you must have filed your return, I can't stress that enough, and you need to apply within 60 days of the payment deadline. If you tick those boxes, you can often set it up really quickly online or with a simple phone call. It is a genuine lifeline to stop a bad situation from getting much, much worse.
Right. We've talked a lot about damage control, but the best cure is always prevention, isn't it? So let's look at a few dead simple strategies to make sure next January is a whole lot more chilled out.
Seriously, these are game changers. First, get your phone out right now and put the deadlines in your calendar with alerts. Second, create a tax pot. Open a separate, easy-access savings account and get into the habit of moving, say, 20% of every single payment you receive into it. That way, there's no shock at the end of the year. Third, use some simple accounting software. It makes keeping records a breeze. Also, look up payments on account. This is how HMRC splits your bill into 2 more manageable chunks. Or honestly, just hire a professional. The fee you pay them is often way, way less than the penalties you'll get for messing it up.
Look, trying to deal with late returns, appealing penalties, sorting payment plans, it's a lot. It can feel really overwhelming, but you really don't have to do it all by yourself.
If you remember just one thing from our entire discussion today, please let it be this. The cost of being late is always higher than the cost of being prepared. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about the stress, the worry, the sleepless nights. It's just not worth it.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. After everything we've gone through, what's the one small thing you can do today to make next year's tax season a walk in the park? Is it setting that reminder? Opening that tax pot? Whatever it is, doing one little thing now can make a massive difference later.
And if you are feeling completely stuck or just don't know where to start, the best step you can take is to ask for help. The team at ProTax Accountant, this is what they do, day in, day out. They can help you get that late return filed, appeal any unfair penalties, and even talk to HMRC for you about a payment plan. You can get in touch with them directly on WhatsApp or by phone at 079-856-89912. That's 079-856-89912. Or just drop them an email at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk.
And hey, if you found this helpful, Pro Tax Accountant has a brilliant YouTube channel that's packed with more clear, simple advice just like this. It's perfect for anyone self-employed or running a small business in the UK. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for joining this discussion.